Hey, go people. So sometimes the message that people try to depict, I guess, in a video is opposite of what I hear from a cop who's worked the streets and from my cop side. But I know it's easy to fool you pesky tax-paying citizens and you believe this shit. So in this video, it says, Baltimore is now facing police shortages. 3 officers patrolled 61,000. Police unable to respond to call, including a child assault. The department is now posting police All right, look. Here's some dispatch calls to match this narrative, and I'm going to tell you what really is going on.
Willing to work overtime.
In the Southern District on Tuesday, there was a plea for officers to work overtime. Minutes later, it went citywide.
Citywide, overtime available on today's date, Charlie shift, Southern District.
Okay, so this sounds really like bad and horrible, and we need more government, and we're unsafe. And this is absolutely routine. Every agency I've ever worked at, they come on the air and they go, hey, we got overtime available next shift. Somebody just called in sick. Anybody want it? Very common. This is a ploy to put out information to scare people that if we have more government, we'll be safe. They're not saying that they probably got, 40 officers assigned to day shift that ain't doing shit but writing tickets and drinking coffee. And for the night shift, we only put 3 people. Because if we only put 3 people on the night shift, then calls for service will be really long. We get to give shitty service. Then people will complain. And then when we ask for more taxes, they'll say yes. Don't buy this shit. There are so many fat and pork positions in law enforcement that when law enforcement says we need more officers for the road, that's not what they mean. They mean we want to get more officers so we can have a school resource officer, someone that sits around at the school all freaking day. So we can have a DARE officer that goes around and does this. So the chief can have his own driver. We need an officer to drive the chief around. So the captain can start his own little program of something that he can say and use so he can become chief. They do not ever need more cops. I have never worked for a police agency in 30 years working in law enforcement that did not cry that we need more cops. And in every agency I worked, there was always fat and wasted cops doing jack shit that could have been working and giving the public service, but they didn't because they wanted to be able to say, we need more police. So they take from the road and they put in other places. Don't buy into this bullshit.
Anyone interested?
Baltimore's Southern Police District is the city's largest district, 61,000 residents. And on Tuesday afternoon, sources tell us at one point there were 3 police officers on patrol, just seconds after the plea for
So I'd like to know how many police officers are in this area, because I'm going to guess they probably have over 100 officers, but they're making it seem like it's so short. They only have 3. You know what? Let me go find out how many cops this place has. Hang on. Just as I figured. Baltimore police has over 2,150 officers. And they're crying that, oh, we only had 3 officers for the whole city. We're so short. We need more police. Are you freaking kidding me? It's just ridiculous. Here we go.
Officers hit the airwaves. So did pleas for help.
If anyone in Sector 2 can come clear, we have a physical child abuse at Morrill Park, and there's a 10-year-old at the location with bruises all over his body. Okay, we also have a common assault. We have a missing person, 2640B Huron Street.
10 minutes after that child abuse call was transmitted, it appears there were still no officers en route.
We still holding that physical child abuse?
Yes, sir. And be advised, we are now holding 10 calls. No priority 1.
Okay, so here's what, again, a lot of non-people that don't know, this sounds very dangerous and bad because we have 2,000 cops not freaking working and we're making it seem like we only have 3 to respond. Therefore, this poor child is abused because the 2,000 other cops are on vacation or on maternity leave because they're males and their wife's cousin's having a baby and they got 6 months off. Whatever. It's all taxpayer waste bullshit. So you notice right here it says no priority 1 calls. Priority 1 calls are calls that are actively in progress involving violence, like a home invasion, like a armed robbery, somebody's being held at gunpoint, somebody's being stabbed. Those are priority one calls. Because there's no priority one calls, that's very common to hold lower calls to where it's not in progress. So this child in the park probably has bruises. Somebody walked by and said, hey, I saw a child with bruises. So they put it out as we got a possible child abuse. There's a kid with bruises. We need to send an officer to check it out. It's not a priority one. If it was a priority one, it would have been, hey, there's a kid in the park being hit with a bat and he's bruised and it looked like he's been beat. This is a priority one call, violence in progress. We need officers to clear and respond. So there's no priority one calls. They only have 3 officers working, making it seem like a crisis, and they have over 2,000 officers in the department. Yeah, okay, for all you idiots, yeah, you need to vote for more taxes so we can have more police, and that way you'll be safe, and that poor little child in the park will have an officer come. Absolutely just total propaganda bullshit.
We still have the physical child abuse and the common assault.
And it's heartbreaking. Imagine if you are a crime victim.
Betsy Smith with the National Police Association calls the city's police staffing dangerously low.
You are endangering the lives of the police officers.
Oh, so she's a sergeant. Imagine her pushing the lie. Why the hell ain't she out on the road? Why is she sitting here giving interviews with her little shirt and tie instead of being in a uniform? But Rick, she was really good as a cop, and the chief liked her, so now she's a sergeant. She gets to sit behind a desk while they're holding calls of the poor little kid in the park. And if we just had more officers, this would stop, Rick, and it would be all better. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
That are on duty. And what that further does is endanger the lives of the citizens.
There's 522 vacancies.
At a city budget hearing last year,
They have 2,000 cops, and there's 500 vacancies. And they're saying they need more. And they only have 3 cops working the streets. At night, the most dangerous time. But during the day, when you have 50 motorcycle cops out there writing 1,400 tickets and bringing all this revenue in, that's okay. If you just give them more cops, I'm sure that won't happen, and the people at night will get better service. Good grief, what a freaking joke.
top brass admitted it struggled with recruitment and is hoping to hire civilians to fill in the gaps.
We're looking at upwards to 120 to 140 positions that we're trying to create in this request to be able to sustain going forward.
2,000 cops, 5,000 vacancies. That means they're already authorized 2,500 cops with their budget, and they're crying because we only have 3 poor police working this area. Aww. Man, if anybody believes anything government says, you are a special kind of idiot. I'm sorry. We'll end that there. This is more earning the hate for the lying cops, this lying quota hire ponytail police piece of crap trying to scare the community to pay more taxes and to make people think, oh, if you just give us more, we'll be able to help you, because 2,500 cops only means that we can have 3 working at a time. Outrageous lies and propaganda. We'll end that there.